Hey everybody, Wayne Defrancesco here, and welcome to YouTube. And we're going to look at Tiger at the Masters. If you like the stuff that I do, make sure you visit my website. All the videos that are on YouTube will be available there at waynedefrancesco.com, along with a lot of other good stuff. So let's take a look at what's going on with Tiger. We got lucky and had a camera that was stationary on the back of the 14th tee there, so that allows me to draw all my lines and get an accurate view of what's going on. Plus, he was nice to line up so that the camera was right behind his hands, so we really get a good view, because this is right where I would put my camera, and it's at the right height too, so everything is in setup. So recently Tiger's been pulling the club back where his hands go under the shaft plane and the club comes right up on the plane. It appears, now on 14, I played there once, but that's a big tree on the left. This does not look like a cut hole to me, but I could be wrong. He could be trying to cut it, but it doesn't look like he's setting up to hit a cut. So his feet are lined up down the left side of the fairway, which means he's probably trying to hit it up the right center and draw it, or just hit it straight. So it's kind of interesting. This is something we haven't seen. I didn't see it at all last year. That's way out in front of him. So this is back to the Harmon days of Tiger taking the club way out in front of him, so that his hands now, instead of being much deeper here, if I draw the second plane line up there where the left arm's parallel to the ground, you'll see that the differential is from 47 shaft to 58. So I've got an older swing of his from probably 0.34 that's got the same numbers to it, and the shaft now is getting flatter as well. And then as he gets up to the top, you'll see that there's no more, all the up in it is in the first half of the backswing. So here we are now, just almost the same exact line, or one up, and it's pretty obvious that the club is laid off here. Tiger's grip has got to be extremely weak, because with a really flat, almost bowed wrist, the face almost looks open at the top. So you take somebody and give them a normal 2.5, 3 knuckle grip, and with that wrist position, the face would be looking straight up at the sky. So here's the normal thing about it. You've got the deepening of the right hip, you've got the lowering of the head, and now this is really getting pronounced. He's dropping quite a bit, pretty much the same, maintaining his depth, and you can see it when he comes down. His hands are way deeper than when they went back. So in other words, here's the pass-by point on the backswing, and now it's over here. So if anything, this club is dropping back. So the left arm way more in front on the backswing and dropping down the chest more on the forward swing. And then you can see the right forearm is pretty close to right on plane, the shaft just above and coming in. On this one in particular, he lost it a little bit to the right, and I think what happens when he loses it, you can see the shaft elevate above the shaft plane through impact. So with that weak grip and the club coming in, it's difficult to rotate the hands enough to square the face sometimes when the wrist is elevating, meaning that when the grip is going up like that and it's not going up and left enough, the face will tend to hang open maybe. Now, of course, the great things, you can see him here. He's got the hips perfectly in the box, so that's something that I always focus on when I teach. Doesn't back his head up like Mickelson and some of these other guys. I just think, the technique generally is great. I like the compression. I like the I like everything about this, but I think the grip and the arm path is getting, it's kind of interesting to watch. Now, this is also pretty interesting. Here's a drive that he hit. I think it's on 7. Now this one he double crossed over to the left, or if he was trying to hit straight, he just hit a big draw up there. He just didn't like the shot at all. It ended up okay. Now watch what he does. So now he feels like he flipped that one a little bit. You can see how he mimics what he thought he might have done, like that. So here's the practice. There it is, the arm way up and laying the club off, and then on the forward part, getting the shaft. If you watch when he does this, so there's the hold. He wants to hold it, keep the head down, and the wrist arched on the way through. And when he goes back up, watch where so that's pointing sideways almost. Now watch where the club head comes. You can see it. So he's trying to get the club to pass way above his forearm up there. So he's trying to get his left arm to run. See, the left arm motion is up in front of him to get the club to point left, so you can again see it here. And then he's trying to run the arm down and get the shaft not to almost from a flattened position here to almost stand up. So you can see what he's doing. He's steepening the thing from a laid off position. He's trying to steepen it and pull it around, which is kind of an interesting approach. If you look at Hogan, he did sort of the same thing, but he didn't do it with his left arm nearly as high as that. So if we look at another swing here, he's on 18. Now this shot, I think he was straight in. He was trying to hit it right up, straight at the pin. I don't think he's trying to cut this one. And still, you can see this pretty much the same pattern where the hands are starting to go more out in front of him now. The club is, again, to the plane here. You can see that it's laid off. And then there's the drop and the deepening. And then he's trying to get that shaft to come in, which he does nicely above the right forearm. So again, pretty interesting to watch. Got one more swing. So here's a ball above his feet. So you'd have to figure he's not trying to cut it against the hill, and there it goes outside again and laid off again, and then rolling it down. Again, I think the big thing is he's trying to form a pattern that gets the club on top of the right arm on the way down. So I think that, I just don't get the grip and the wrist position and getting the club laid off like that. Now here's a shot that he cut on purpose. You can see where he's got to send this one around the tree and slide it in there. Now that looks like a cut swing, but most of these other swings, kind of hard to see why he would be wanting to cut it. If you take a look at here's the club face angle pretty clearly at the top, fairly open with the flat wrist. So anyway, just kind of interesting. The usual good things, but some interesting stuff. Maybe a little bit more of a reversion back to the old days here.